Now that we've got a better idea of what Next is, let's install a couple of dependencies into our project, and then we're going to start discussing exactly how Next works. I'm going to flip on over to my terminal, and over here I'm going to make sure that I'm inside of my Kickstart directory. I'm then going to install a couple of different modules. So I'll write out npm install --save. We're going to get Next, and I want a very specific version of Next just to make sure that you and I are using the exact same version. So we're going to say Next at 4.1.4, like so. We're also going to install React and React-DOM. So two separate libraries here. Let me increase the font size so you can see those all on one line. There we go. So Next, React, and React-DOM. All right, so let's let that do its thing. And while that installation is running, I want to show you a quick diagram or two that's going to give you some initial idea of how we organize code in a Next project. All right, so over here on the left-hand side, we have our project directory. We already have a couple of different files and folders inside of our project directory. I'm not showing those existing files or folders here. I'm only showing two relevant folders that I want you to be aware of as far as Next goes. So the first thing I want you to know is that as soon as we start running Next inside of our project, a new directory is going to be created automatically. This new folder called .next is essentially where the magic happens, so to speak. Next is going to automatically create this folder and manage all the contents inside of it. This is where Next does a lot of its build steps, a lot of serving up of different files and folders, and all that kind of good stuff. So I just want you to be aware that you're going to see this folder appear, and it's going to contain a lot of behind-the-scenes configuration that is going to kind of control how our application actually works. The other big thing to be aware of is to understand exactly how Next handles navigation, or the creation of new pages that can be visited inside of our application. So you and I are going to make a very special directory. This directory is going to be called Pages. Whenever Next starts up, it's going to look for a folder called Pages, specifically Pages. So please do use this name when we actually create this folder. Inside of Pages, you and I are going to create a bunch of different React components. Every single file that contains a React component that we place inside this directory right here is going to automatically be turned into a web page that we can visit inside of our application. So for example, let's say that you and I create that Pages directory, and then we create two files inside there. One being show.js and the other being newcampaign.js. And let's imagine that both these files right here create a React component. As soon as Next starts up, it's going to look into this Pages directory, and it's going to look at all the different files that exist inside of it. It's then going to see that there are two separate React components inside there, inside of two different files. It's then going to take those file names, so the name show and the name new campaign, and it's going to create two new visitable routes, or like actual web pages that people can visit inside of our application, with the name of show and new campaign. So in other words, if a user came to our application that was running Next with these two pages, they would be able to visit crowdcoin.com, that's a tongue twister, /show, because that's the name of this file over here, and they would also be able to visit crowdcoin.com/newcampaign because of the file name over here. Whenever a user goes to this route or this route, they will automatically see the show page, or excuse me, the component defined inside this file appear on the screen. And the same thing for new campaign as well. So at a very low level, this is how the routing system inside of Next works. Basically, we make React components inside the Pages folder right here, and they automatically get turned into pages that our users can visit. Given that you and I have a total of like 4 or 5 different pages that we want to show to our user, right? We've got like the campaign list page, we've got the campaign creation page, all these different pages that we want to have the user be able to visit, we're definitely going to take great advantage of this Pages system. So we're going to make one separate component that's going to display each of the different pages that we had previously discussed. All right, if I flip back over to the terminal, it looks like my installation process is complete. So let's take a pause. We'll come back in the next video and we're going to start to implement our first pages. So let's take care of that in the next video.